So, how do the most successful companies out there today manage to stay on top? Well, here's a secret. It's not really about having the biggest factories or the most resources anymore. Nope, it's about something way more powerful. It's about making technology and innovation the absolute heart of their entire strategy. And today, we're going to break down exactly how they pull that off.
This quote right here, it just nails the massive shift we've seen. Back in the day, owning the physical stuff, the factory, the land, the materials, that was the path to winning. But today, the real advantage comes from what's in your head, the sharpest ideas, and the most creative ways to use technology. The rulebook has been completely rewritten.
And that brings us to these new rules of competition. Because of digitalization and the breakneck speed of change, the old playbook has basically been tossed out the window. What it means to compete and win in business looks totally different now.
Just look at this contrast. It says it all. The old economy on the left was like a giant oil tanker, built for stability, slow and steady. But the new economy? It's the complete opposite. It's a speedboat. Companies today are born digital. They have tech baked into their DNA. They're built for speed and agility, ready to test things, fail fast, and pivot in a heartbeat.
So how in the world does any organization navigate this crazy, fast-paced world? Well, it all starts with a clear game plan. And in the business world, we call this strategic management. It's the essential framework, the North Star that gives you direction when everything else feels like it's constantly shifting. And the key thing to get here is that this isn't just wishful thinking or some motivational poster. Strategic management is a very deliberate process. Leadership sets these ambitious goals, and then they systematically figure out how to hit them by looking at what they have internally and what's going on in the world around them.
This right here shows you the disciplined cycle behind it all. See, you start with clear goals. What are we trying to do? Then you scan the environment for opportunities and, of course, threats. From there, you build your strategy and you put it into action. But honestly, the most important part is that last step. You constantly evaluate and adjust. It's a continuous loop, not a set it and forget it kind of plan.
Okay, so if strategy is the game plan, what's the engine that actually drives it forward? Today, there's no doubt about it. It's technology and innovation. Without them, even the most brilliant strategy in the world is just a piece of paper.
This is where technology management comes into play. It's the practical, hands-on discipline of turning all that raw tech potential into a real competitive edge. The goal is simple, really. Make technology serve the business, not the other way around.
I love this slide because it just makes the connection so clear. Think about it. Strategic management defines the destination on your map, the what you're doing and why you're doing it. Technology management is what provides the vehicle and the route to actually get there, the how.
Now, the ultimate goal, the holy grail of all of this, is something called strategic alignment. This is where those two gears, strategy and tech, lock together perfectly. It means every single tech decision, whether it's a small software update or a massive digital transformation, directly supports a core business goal. This is how you stop seeing technology as a cost and start seeing it as a powerful engine for growth.
So how do leaders actually make these huge, high-stakes decisions? It's not just guesswork, that's for sure. They use a really powerful toolkit of frameworks and models to basically dissect their environment and chart a clear path forward. Here are a few of the heavy hitters. You've got Porter's 5 Forces, which helps you understand just how intense the competition is in your industry. Then there's pest analysis, which makes you zoom out and look at the big picture trends, political, economic, social, and tech that could affect you. And the balanced scorecard? That's an amazing tool for making sure your everyday actions are perfectly lined up with your long-term vision. And then there's one of the most fundamental tools in the whole kit, SWOT. You've probably seen this before. It's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. By mapping out your internal strengths and weaknesses against the external opportunities and threats, you get this crystal clear snapshot of exactly where you stand and what moves you should make next.
All right, so we've covered the big picture planning and the deep dive analysis. But what about the spark of creation itself? Let's switch gears and look at the process of turning a brand new idea into something that has a real-world impact. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? But here's the thing, the answer isn't some kind of magic. The most innovative companies don't just sit around waiting for a lightning bolt of inspiration. Nope. They build a structured process to make innovation something that's repeatable and reliable.
And here's what that process usually looks like. You start by generating a whole bunch of ideas. No bad ideas at this stage.
But then, and this is crucial, you have to screen them. Which ones are actually viable? Which ones fit our strategy? The best ones move into development, where they get built and tested. And finally, you've got commercialization, which is all about launching it successfully out into the market.
Now, theory is great, but let's make this really tangible. Let's use a real-world example that pretty much every company has to deal with at some point, implementing a new core technology, like a customer relationship management system or a CRM. So this shows you the practical steps. First, you figure out what you actually need the CRM to do for you. Then, you evaluate all the different software options out there. Once you pick one, you create a super detailed plan for the rollout. And here's the key. After you go live, you don't just walk away. You execute that plan, and you constantly monitor its performance to make sure you're getting the value you paid for. That, right there, is technology management in action.
And all of this brings us to our final and maybe most important thought. In an economy that's defined by constant, relentless change, the real question isn't whether your strategy is perfect for today. It's whether your strategy, your culture, and your technology are all built to adapt and to win tomorrow.